Marcia Davitt recently earned her PhD at Tech in Science and Technology Studies and is working as a postdoc project manager and researcher for the provost. She embraces participating in community endeavors such as belonging and storytelling because of their powerful potential to create spaces, alternative and more inclusive, of making meaning and productive knowledge. Welcome, Marcia.
The silence was deafening. When I came here to Virginia Tech for the first time in my life, just a month after the terrible event on April 16th, to find out whether I was going to come here and pursue graduate studies, there was nobody around. I heard birdsong, something that usually brings joy to my heart, but somehow it seemed oddly out of place, given what had happened just a short month ago. And then the guilt set in. Here I was setting out on a new adventure, a new journey, a new leg in my journey. And here these were 30+ persons whose life, whose journey had been cut short, whose lives had been just mown down mid-sentence, not even a thought completed. And I began to get concerned about meeting with the faculty that had agreed to meet with me, and I thought, how fair is it that I go and meet with them about starting my journey, and they have to kind of put on a nice face and be very pleasant, when maybe underneath they're not feeling so hot. And so I started to get worried and antsy about what should I say? Should I say anything? And then I started to think back about 20 years previous when my mother was dying of cancer. And she wanted to talk about her fears. She wanted to share what it was like to be going through what she was going through and to be facing death. Many of her friends no longer came to see her because they didn't know what they would say when they came in to see her. And so I decided I'm just going to be myself, and I'm going to go to the faculty and I'm going to let them run the discussion, come what may. And then as I walked around campus and I saw the incredible posters and everything and photographs hung up in squares that had been sent by all these other universities who were expressing their sorrow for what had happened here, and I read all these things. It was just incredible. And then I went, and what was really moving to me was as I stood out in front of Burris and I saw all those hand-fashioned memorials. I spent a lot of time walking and kneeling down beside each one and reading. People had left beautiful letters that they had written to their loved ones. There were stones left that people had written small messages of love on these stones. And there were photographs of family members. And it was, I remember I got the sense that these are memorials, but it was so alive. It was so living. And these people that I had never, ever met in my life were people that, in some sense, I was beginning to get to know them. And then I started to think back again to my mother, and I thought, at least I got to say goodbye. And I remember 2 weeks before she passed away, and she said to me, when I went to visit her one day, she said to me, she was convalescing at home, and she said to me, now Marcia, I want you to open my closet, and I want you to go through my clothes. And I want you to try on my clothes while I'm here and to model them for me and decide which ones you're going to keep. And I resisted. I thought, no, I'm not up to do it. I can't do that, Mom. And she said, you know, if you do it now, it'll be easier for you to do it now than after I'm gone. And besides, don't you want me to see what the things look like and be able to imagine right now what you might look like in these. And so we did this. You know, I tried on different outfits, and you know, some of them were great. They suited me just fine. And I said, that's a keeper. I'm going to keep that. You know, and every now and then I'd walk out, you know, and I'd have something on, and I'd be, you know, kind of walking around doing this, and I'd look in the mirror, and I'd say, I don't think so. My mother would say, why not? That looks so good on you. And I'd be, Mom, come on, you know what I'm like. I'm not going to wear this, you know? And so we kind of went back and forth with this. And it was actually turned out to be a wonderful process. My mother received a real sort of lift from that experience. It was something that really moved her and that really moved me, and it allowed me to continue to grieve her. And I carry that memory with me. Now, I'm back standing at these stone memorials in front of Burris, saying once again, at least I got to say goodbye. But as I look at these memorials, you know, it's incredible. I don't know if you've been out there, and probably all of you have at some point. But they're, I mean, in some sense, they're beautiful. These beautiful stone memorials that are nicely, the names are beautifully carved in each single stone, and they're placed perfectly, almost too perfectly, equidistant from each other. One here, one there, one here. They had to have gotten on their hands and knees and measured equidistance between each one. And then I see the garden staff come by, and they're sweeping up, they're taking the leaf sweepers, and they're making sure that everything is neat and clean and just perfect for this weekend. There's not one stray piece left behind. And as I looked at this, I felt very conflicted. And I'm compelled to ask myself, if grieving and remembrance is a living and dynamic process, how can we package grief and put it on display?